All right, this will go quicker. So he will be liable for all the debts, right? Personally, they can come to his house and take the money. Audits, there's no requirements for audits of his company. He will have, and this is the biggest advantage, there is a personal interest in his business. He's personally invested. Why? If you're working for yourself, you're the worst boss. If you don't work, you don't get paid. So he's got a personal interest. He knows what's going on. He's doing the selling himself. He's got the personal touch with the customers. You'll see that this is something that differs as well from the other types of ownerships, but we'll get there. And last one, decision making. He makes the decisions alone. So it's quick, it's easy, right? So what I ask you to do is to go through the notes. You'll see that these are normally the characteristics, and they've said it in a different way to make it an advantage or a disadvantage. Let's move over to partnership. Now I'm going to highlight these two because they are the only two forms of ownership that is not a legal entity. All right, the rest is a legal entity, and therefore you'll see the changes in most of these answers based on the legal entity status. So partnership, we call them the partners, and in some books it says 2 to 20, others says 2 to infinity, so I'm going to say 2 too many. There's 2 too many people there. Yeah. Okay, who's the managers? It's the same people, it's the partners. You can hire someone, but they are still personally invested in the company, right? It is their company. If they're not there, then someone else will have to take up the burden, but they are personally invested. They must be, because if it's not my company and I just work there, I'm not going to be, I don't carry that same vision that you do. I'm just a worker there, right? Unless I buy into it. Risk, the risk is shared between the partners, and this is now where it starts to become interesting. They need to have a formal document, which we call a partnership agreement, right? I'm typing as we go. So if I make errors, I'm trying to type quickly. The profit then is shared according to the partnership agreement to say who gets what profit according to what risk they take, according to what they've brought to the table. What do they bring to the table? That is capital. Capital can be more than the owner's equity because they've got more partners, right? So the capital, there's more, and if that's your contribution, then you share in the profit based on your contribution. If you bring skills, managerial skills, whatever, that's how partnerships are formed with a partnership agreement and how the profit is shared. There's also no formal registration, but you do need to have that partnership agreement. There's no name requirements by law, but normally we differentiate by saying it's let's say Peter and Koos. We see there's an and, or father and son, or Koos and son, it's always an and. You can always see there's someone. Continuity, because there's not a legal entity, there's no continuity. So if one partner withdraws, they have to get in a new partner, right? So let's say there's two partners. And my partnership, I'm a partner, so full member, but I'm no longer there. So Paul and Peter's cleaning services, now I'm gone. Now Peter can't continue as Paul and Peter's. He can, let's not downgrade, but he can be a sole trader, not a partnership anymore, or he can get someone else in my place. And then he has to establish a new partnership agreement. And the reason for that is it's a legal document that will protect him and his partner when it comes to legal battles. All right. So how is the profit shared? Are they treated fairly, etc.? Audits, again, there's no requirements for audits. And here with the decision making, this is, oh wow, decision making. This is now more difficult. Why? There's more than two people, and once it's two or more, there's always different opinions, and it leads to conflict. One thing I haven't said is tax. They also pay tax on a personal income level, and then I think the liability, which